Hello, I'm live. Hopefully, we'll get some people tonight. I thought I'd just talk about comics. We can really do an AMA. You can ask me anything, but I have some comics to show, and hopefully, it's a good night. My wife is going out with some friends, and my son's at a band thing, and my other daughter has a sleepover, so there's nobody here but me. So I thought, maybe I'd try something new. I'm using StreamYard. I've never used StreamYard before, so hopefully this is working. Someone can see me, which is awesome. Yeah, no, it's I've never, like I said, I've never used StreamYard before, so I thought I'd give it a try, excuse me, and see what we got. But I was going to show some comics, so this is a comic channel, so thought I'd maybe show you some comics. But if you guys have any questions or anything, definitely throw them in there. Hey, Gavin, great to see you. And so let's get it going. So what I thought I'd talk about is some physical comics. A lot of people asked me about potential comics that they could, quote unquote, invest in, or what ones, that they could get for a relatively low price, and then they might go up in value. That's what we're always looking for in VeVe and other things. So I thought I'd talk about some physical ones, but we can talk VeVe. If you guys have any questions in there, we'll definitely, I'll answer anything I can. Hope you guys are having a great night. I don't even know how to, like I said, this is my first time using StreamYard. So if I totally mess it up, here, let me see if I can. Oh, see, I look like a pro. I can put the names up here, and Lori's in here. Hey, Lori, how are you? Good to see you. So yeah, we're going to talk some comics. So let's get into it. But if you guys have other questions, I can stop or whatever. So, I thought I'd start with Star Wars because the new Andor show is coming up. So these are comics that you could look at, maybe not, up to you. We do not have many of these on the app yet. And hey, Donhyun, Slider, yeah, live. So this is Kanan, who is from the Rebels show, if you ever watched that show. So, but the significance of this book is it is the first appearance of Ezra and Sabine. And if you watched the trailer for The Mandalorian 3, you saw Sabine in it. And if you've been watching the news, then you've seen that Ezra has been cast. She may show up in the Ahsoka show, or she may show up in The Mandalorian 3. This book is kind of spendy at $500, but it's a relatively low print run. I do think once more people know who Sabine and Ezra are, I think this comic could be a big comic. So that's why I'm showing this one. And I got all kinds of crap to show you guys. So let me know. I'll try and keep up with chat here too. Slider, good to see you. Jacob Miller, great to see you. Comics and Bulls, let's go. Jack Long, hey, Sleepin', I would like to know your top 8 spec comics on VeVe. Okay, we can go through that too. Derek Brad says, nice. Okay, so I'm keeping up here. So I'll go through that. I'm going to talk about that, Jack. I'm going to show a couple physical comics. And then we can definitely jump into some VeVe stuff. If you guys all don't care and start saying, get rid of those physical comics, I'll stop showing physical comics. So really, whatever you guys want to do, ask me anything. It's AMA, right? Ask me anything. I'll do my best. Okay, so this one actually I showed. Okay, we'll stay in the Star Wars world. So this is the first appearance of this blue guy here, Admiral Thrawn, who's a real big bad guy. He was in Rebels, that cartoon, and will most likely show up, was talked about briefly in The Mandalorian Season 2, and will probably show up in Mandalorian Season 3 and Ahsoka. I mean, he could even show up in the Andor show. He's going to show up at some point here. We don't know. He will be a really big bad guy and then is kind of a good guy and all these other nonsense. So I think eventually he's going to have, he'll be in the Star Wars universe for like 10 years, maybe forever. People really, really like that character. I really like that character. So this book, which I got this book for, I think, $2. In a 9.8, this sells for around $1,500. I actually thought this was a 9.8, but I have no idea why they gave it such a bad grade. I guess there's a pretty large maybe spine tick here. But either way, good one if you can find it. Fun one to have. Maximum Custom says, bro, I spent $50 on the drop of Robbie Ray's Ghost Rider and got all the Dookie commons. I have to hate thing with VeVe, man. Yeah, I know. I don't suggest people go for drops if you are, for any of the comics that I'm, think of as almost a B or C or D tier comic. It's just that if you go off of the numbers, really common and commons, even sometimes rares go under retail. And so you're going to lose money. It's better just to be patient, wait, see them hit the secondary and see what happens. Obviously look at the mint number, because if it's a super small mint number, that would change. Jacob Miller says, what's your best physical comic? My best physical comic is behind me here, which is Amazing Fantasy 15, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man, our favorite web crawler. So that one is on the VeVe app. So I'm excited to have that one on the app. And I was not able to get a SR though. Those SRs are pretty expensive. My hat's all messed up. How do I get it straight? So yeah, that's probably my best physical comic. But I collect all kinds of physical crap. I can continually pull out more physical crap till you're blue in the face. Like, what do I have kind of crazy? I have like Dungeons and Dragons, some of the Dungeons and Dragons books. What's the CGC number? Oh, you mean the grade? The grade of that one is a 1.8, so a relatively low grade. That's the grade of my AF-15. So not too impressive, but I get, as they always say, low grade is better than no grade. So no, they're not worth hundreds of thousands. Some of them are. If you have, a higher grade, I don't know exactly what it would be. Maybe 5.0, it starts getting into the hundreds of thousands. This is only 1.8. It's probably worth maybe $30,000, which is a lot, but not hundreds of thousands of dollars. But if you have the highest graded one, which is the 9.6, that one is sold for 3.2 million or something like that. So yeah, they can really get up there. Don Hyun says, our rare physical is on the rise. I keep seeing Twitter posts of comics stating new all-time highs. They're actually fallen, just like all assets really in this past year. A lot of physical comics have gone down, maybe as much as, kind of like VeVe, right? Not as much as VeVe, but maybe 50%, if I had to guess. And once again, it depends on the comic. AF-15 holds pretty well. Some of the other ones maybe don't hold as well. But yeah, definitely AF-15 is held well. And some of the grails that people love just because people don't want to let them go no matter what. Yeah, Maximum Custom says that's a piece of history right there. Yeah, it is. I'm lucky enough to have a number of really kind of crazy comics. And so if you look right above my head, see that guy, that blue guy, that is also Thrawn, the Star Wars. And that's a super rare version of his first comic. Very rare. I want to say there's only 100 or 200 or something. It's very, very rare comic. Why can't I get I can't get my my hat straight. I'm struggling with my hat. So yeah, I have some interesting comics, definitely some rare ones too. So we're out of the Star Wars. Let's jump into we can talk a little VeVe if you want. So you said top 8. Wow, that's a rough 8. My 8 spec comics. Oh, that's a lot. Let's just do 3 or 4. How about I try that? So the ones that I have been looking at lately, and they always change day by day, but the ones that I really like now are the ones, because I am always trying to constantly look at the mint number versus the price versus what I think it's going to be. And if people watch my channel a lot, they know that I'm big on, before you buy anything, you kind of want to know what you're going to sell it for and when you're going to sell it. So the ones that I have been really interested in lately is the X-Men 2. I have it here. Hold on a second. I'll grab it. It's this one. X-Men 266, first appearance of Gambit. Now, it's actually not the first. Well, it is the first appearance of Gambit, but there's this other comic that came out before, and there's all this kind of a little bit of drama around in comics on which is his first appearance. But this is what most collectors believe is his first appearance. And on the app, there's only 20,000 of these. They're relatively low, and so I've been grabbing these because I think it's, I think Gambit's an interesting character. I think once they bring the X-Men to the MCU, I think he's going to be a great character that people are going to be interested in. Daniel says, when do the hats ship? So about a month ago, I sold sleeping hats like this. I had 100 of them. They are being built right now. So they have Sleeping Comics on it, and then they have the mint number. There's only 100 of them. They're individually minted. It has a gold mint number on them, and they are almost done, and then I'll be shipping them out. So sadly, they're sold out. But I'll do something else. I don't know if I'm going to do hats again. I might do t-shirts or something fun. I don't know. I'll figure out something. And then to stay with Star Wars, we'll stay with Star Wars. So I'll show you something else in Star Wars. So here is Kylo Ren. So I really like this statue. It's I don't know. There's just something about him kind of looking at his you can see his helmet here, looking at his helmet, and I really love the texture of it. And he looks very young. It's like he's just deciding whether or not he wants to go through with this. And I love his cape back here. So yeah, pretty spectacular one. There is another one with Rey. I want to get that one. I just got to find it for the right price. This wasn't that expensive. I think I got it for $150 or something like that. But really cool one in my mind. I just got it a couple weeks ago. So it'd be fun to see. I don't think this would come to VeVe at all, but I think Kylo Ren will be on VeVe. I don't know if he'll probably have his helmet on, I would imagine. So I'm not sure. Let's stay going here. Marvelous Pack says, I really enjoyed the video with Superstar Joe and your fun evil sleeping video. Yes, my wife. She had fun doing that video. So excited for X-Men Captain America 1, Fantastic Four 52. Yeah, Fantastic Four 52 is the first appearance of Black Panther. I do not own that comic. I will show some Black Panther comics here in a second. But I would bet with the movie coming, we will get Fantastic Four 52. That will be a good one. And X-Men and Hulk 181, which he describes here, is a great one. Hulk 181, which is here. Here's a Hulk 181 for you. So this is Hulk 181. This is the first appearance of Wolverine. You can see him right there. This is a spendy book. I'll answer it just because everybody's going to ask me. So this one is probably about maybe $5,000. I think it was up as high as $6,000. Don't quote me on that. I bought it years ago for, I think, $2,000, if I recall. So yeah, some good, but a fun one to have, an iconic book. And once this comes to the VeVe app, I think people will be really excited. Oh, let me put that away. Oh, I have here. I'll show you one underneath it. So underneath that one was this one, which is Hulk #1 from 1962. So this is a relatively rare book. Only 1,400 left of them. This is an expensive book, super expensive book. Only a 1.8, but really expensive book. Happy to have these. Not, like I said, not many of these exist at all in the world anymore. So first appearance of Hulk, and notice he's gray. I'll add one more thing. Why do I have these? So these are special frames that I have. They cost about $25. And the glass is UV protected because as a comic, you don't want any sunlight on your comics because it will fade them. So this office here that I have doesn't have any windows on purpose. But in addition, I have these UV protected because these, like this comic is probably worth, I don't know, $18,000, maybe something like that. So, so that's why I put it in this frame and have it UV protected. All right. Oh, Jacob loves Gambit. I'm with you. Don Hyun says, yay, X-Men. That's an awesome FA. I have X-Men #1 too. I don't know where that is. I have a lot of comics. All right. Yeah, I have X-Men #1 too somewhere. That's a spendy one as well. Maximum Custom says, I hope they do Gambit well in the MCU. I'm curious about Wolverine and who will they cast? Tom Hardy, maybe. Yeah, although he's already Eddie Brock, so we don't know. But yeah, he's a good actor. Don Hyun says, very interesting. Yeah. Okay, so Lori's. Let's see what Lori says. Lori says, it's my husband's birthday soon. Which Ultimate Fallout 4 cover in real life or digital should I buy him to shut him up? Well, the Ultimate Fallout 4, which I have up there, 9.8 is around $3,000. It was as high as I think $4,000. So that would, if you wanted to buy that. The other ones, like I said, I'm struggling with my hat today. The other ones, the other prints that you're familiar with on the VeVe app, the second print, there's a couple second prints, are much less. So you could get 9.8s of those. Don't quote me, but I think maybe even under $1,000. So, and the secret rare, which I do not have, I have a facsimile of it, is super expensive. So even if you were to buy a 9.0 version of it, it might be $10,000. So the secret rare of Ultimate Fallout 4 is very rare and very expensive. So that one, depending on your budget, you could go for. That'd be a fun one to get him as well. That would get him to quote unquote shut up, I bet. He'd be pretty excited about that. Don Hyun says, Wolverine is also part of the Midnight Suns. I don't believe so. He's part of that game. There's a new game coming out with him in it, but he might have, but not the traditional Midnight Suns. I do not believe. That'd be like Ghost Rider, Werewolf by Night. The rumor is in the MCU, the Midnight Suns is going to have, Moon Knight, probably Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider. Which Ghost Rider, we don't know. We've already have 3 different Ghost Riders on the VeVe app. So, but I would think they might go with Johnny Blaze. Maybe they don't. Maybe they go with Robbie Reyes, which is the one that just came out yesterday. Maybe they can get Hugh Jackman. Yeah, I think they'll probably bring Hugh Jackman back and give him a cameo. He seems to be interested. Dong Hyung says, I saw a trailer for Midnight Suns game. Yeah, that game looks awesome. So Midnight Suns is a computer game coming out, I think, in late this year. It's a strategy game. Actually, interestingly enough, it's made by these guys who made another game called XCOM, which I'm a big fan of. I played the first version of it years and years ago, but they've had, I think, 2 XCOM. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And then the studio was hired to do this Marvel game, which they've been working on for the past, make it up 4 years. And that game is coming out this year. I definitely am going to pick it up. So if you're interested, just Google Midnight Suns game and you'll see it. And you can play as, I'm not sure if you can play as all these different characters, but you can direct them in combat and whatnot. And they have Venom, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Doctor Strange, all the kind of guys you'd be familiar with. Marvelous Pack says, I love that cover. Uncanny 129 is an iconic X-Men cover too. Yes, Uncanny 129 I do have somewhere as well. Just don't know where it is. So Uncanny, that's a great one too. Wow, Ancient, yeah. Hulk was butchered horribly in the MCU. Banner was supposed to be such a serious character. They turned him into a big old teddy bear. Yeah, I know a lot of people are with you, Maxim Customs. They're unhappy with how he has been treated in MCU. He's kind of too nice, right? We want angry Hulk that smashes everything. I actually do believe that we're on our way there. I think, spoiler alert, but he has left the planet, if you watch She-Hulk. And I think the rumor, well, I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but if they follow the storyline that we think he's going to follow, you're going to see a lot of Hulk and you're going to see a lot of unhappy Hulk and you're going to see a lot of Hulk smashing a lot of stuff. And it should be pretty awesome if they follow the storyline we think is going to go. Don Hyun says, I like how you frame that slab. Thank you. Professor Hulk now. Big things. Yes. Yeah, I agree. He's going to have big things in the cosmos. And I do think eventually, if they follow the storyline which we think is going to story, and I'll just say the storyline which we think is going to happen has been rumored, is they're going to go towards the World War Hulk storyline, which I won't tell you what that is, but if you're interested, you could Google it. And then I actually think they might go down the Immortal Hulk route. So that'll be crazy and interesting if you've read that run, which is a great run if you are interested. Just some people talking. I have no idea who that is. After USA versus, okay. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know what you mean by that, but okay. I've been warned. Okay, good. I've been warned. All right. I would recommend Secret Rare Physical of UF4. Yeah, that is an expensive comic. 1 in 25. I'm not sure how many there are in the real world. Maybe 1,700 or something like that. And so, yeah, that's a tough one to find. In the game appears Reyes' Ghost Rider. Oh, I didn't know that it was Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider in the game and not Johnny Blaze. That's interesting. You're too nice, pure chaos. Jojo says Marvel teased Johnny Blaze and She-Hulk was Johnny Blaze magician character. Okay, I didn't know that. I must have missed that. Good to know, Jojo. Just some people talking about 50% off. M says hi, Sleepin'. Hello, M. Sleepin', what are your hats coming? I need to pay for mine. I got 63 minutes. Yeah, I just talked about them. They're out. They're just being finished up, and then I gotta box them up, and then I gotta send them out. So thank you for ordering one. That's exciting. Okay, so top 10 comics. Okay, so another person asked this. So there's all these different ways to evaluate comics on the app, obviously. The first person, I think his name was Jack, was asking for the spec comics. What spec means is that, in my mind at least, is that they're relatively low in price, and we think they have a chance to go up. And so the one I said was this one here, which was X-Men 266. I do think that even though it's a little bit spendy right now, I do think ASM 300, the first appearance of Venom, is another one. It only has 10,000 mints, but you take that with a grain of salt. I'm highly biased. Number one, I have an ASM 300 right here, or right there. Number two, I have a massive Venom statue behind me right here. So I am a huge Venom fan, so that you have to take it. But I do think that Venom is such an important character in the Marvel world now. And I just think that with only 10,000 of those, I do think, and I think they're around $40, $50 right now, the commons I'm talking about. It would not be bad to take, to grab one at this point if it fit in your budget, because I do think there's some opportunity there. And then let me think of a third one that I think. I mean, a lot of these new characters I think could blow up. We saw Vengeance one. Oh, so I have that one. So let's just pull it up because we're talking about it. Okay, I lied. Where is it? Here you go. So Vengeance one. First appearance of America Chavez. Obviously, we have this on the app, and it's inexpensive. So take a chance on that one. We already saw her in Doctor Strange 2. I think we're going to see a lot more of her. She's been now being pushed into video games, so I do think that's a character that we're going to see a lot of, America Chavez. So that would be one you could take a shot on too. And all of them, the commons are very reasonably priced. I mean, to grab one, really reasonable. Okay, so let's answer Pure Chaos here. What is the top 10 comics on it? Well, the top 10 comics, those are the ones that I have so I have a website called VeVeRank.com. If you go visit it, you go into the comic tiers, you can see how I rank things. But the top ones are really, just off the top of my head, are AF-15, Amazing Spider-Man #1, Daredevil #1, Ultimate Fallout 4, Strange Tales 110, which is the first appearance of Doctor Strange. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some more. But all of the ones here, let me pull it up over here so I can speak to it. Let me bring it over here. So I'm going to VeVeRank.com, which is my own website. I can't remember my own stuff. And then on the left, there's a thing called comics. You can go to comic tiers, and there. So my tier S comics are Amazing Fantasy 15 and Amazing Spider-Man 252. It just has such a low mint count. So Marvel Comics #1. Oh my gosh, how did I forget that one? Okay, I'm a bad comic person. Marvel Comics #1, obviously. Those are all three are in a class all their own, and then you get to Amazing Spider-Man #1, ASM 300, Daredevil #1, Fantastic Four #1, Fantastic Four #5, First Doctor Doom. Really, Star Wars #1. All these, Ultimate Fallout 4, all these are great ones to own and have potential to go up in the future. 63 SW says, do you like high mint comics? Last 5 minutes, for example. I am not as much of a mint chaser as a lot of people, although I do like, I mean, of course, if there's 2 that are sitting there, I'll take the lower mint. I do have well, I say that, but I do have a really low Silver Surfer because I'm a huge Silver Surfer fan. But the high ones as well, I know, but I think they have to be really high, like basically almost the last mints for that to be a significant price. Don Hyun says, Sleepin', I need to know the price value of a comic, please. Could you help me? Yeah, DM me. My DMs are open on Twitter. My Twitter is Sleepin' Comics, so feel free to jump in there and DM me. A lot of people ask me questions, send me pictures, whatever you need. I'll do whatever you need. Jacob Miller says, do real physical comics come out with secret variations too? How does that work and where are they released? Okay, so no, they don't. So what happens is in the physical comic comes out, they have what's called a well, okay, so we'll just use this. This is Silver Surfer Black. So this is the cover A. So it's kind of like the common. And then they might have a cover B, C, and D. So they're variations of the cover, but they kind of have almost the same print run, maybe a little bit less. But then what they do is they do incentive variants. So what they do is they'll have a cover that in order to get that cover, the comic book store has to order 25 of these to get one of those. It's called a 1 in 25. Or sometimes there's a very rare one where they have to order 50 to get, or 100. So this comic, I think, does have a 1 in 25. I don't own it, but that would be kind of like what we're used to, the secret rare or whatever variants, because they're relatively rare versions of the cover. They're not called secret rare, of course, but they're rare versions of the cover, rare covers. More scarce. Maximum Custom says, isn't Banner supposed to be kind of disturbed in the comics, or am I wrong in this? I haven't been following the comics in Hulk recently. I think it depends on where he is at in his life. But they definitely have had more of him, be happy than in other things. And I think they're just trying to change it up a little bit because obviously in all the things that we've seen previously, he's kind of this brooding guy that obviously gets angry and then smashes things. So I think that's why they changed it up a little bit. Marvelous Pack says Venom is a top 10 character and Gambit has a huge cult following like Silver Surfer. I agree. So that's why those comics, I think, and Venom is a symbiote, and symbiotes have this entire mythology around them, and they have a big bad guy named Noel. We have Venom 3, that's his first appearance, and there's Carnage, and there's all kinds of other symbiotes and all this stuff. I'm going to show you some other comics. And so because an entire universe is built out of Venom, that's why I think it's such a significant comic. He's such a significant character. Whereas like Gambit, we love Gambit, but he doesn't have an entire universe based off of him. Thoughts on ENS domains. I mean, I obviously know what they are. I don't know a lot about them. I was actually gifted sleepincomics.ens, so I need to get my MetaMask. I have one. I got to talk with Lori, I think it is, who gave it to, who bought it for me. It's just so nice of her. And but yeah, I mean, I think it's huge. Slider says, I like Mutant Mutants 87 Spec. Yeah, that's another great one. Another great one. Cable's another one, because I think we're gonna get I think we're going to get another, I think we're going to get another, I was going to say Daredevil or Deadpool movie. And of course he'll probably be in it. So there you go. Okay. VeVe Collectible. Hot take. I think next books are coming in the next few months are Fantastic Four 42, which is the first appearance of Black Panther. I agree. Savage Tales #1 Man-Thing. I agree because of Werewolf by Night. And Marvel Spotlight 2, which is Werewolf. Yeah, I think those are great ones. I think you're right. I like where you're at. I think you're 100% right. Slider says, okay, yes, sir. How's it going? Marvel Specs says, took a long broccoli nap. Okay. Why does Black Bolt suck? Well, you know, he can destroy things. But yeah, you wonder what's going to happen with the Inhumans. So the Inhumans, if you don't know, are like another segment of the Marvel universe. And they really haven't done much with that. There was a movie that didn't do so well. And if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they really did a good job explaining the Inhumans. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a television show long ago, maybe 5 years ago now. I really like that show. So the question is what are they going to do with Inhumans? Black Bolt is the leader of the Inhumans. We did see him in Doctor Strange 2, so we know he exists. The question is what are they going to do with him in the 616 in the main storyline? Noel could be a sleeping giant in terms of speculation. Yeah, so Noel is the king or bad guy of all the symbiotes, like Venom. And we have his first appearance. I have a bunch of his comics, but I'll just grab this one for fun. This is the so here is Noel's first appearance, Venom 3. We have this on the app. This is remember when I was talking about the 1 in 25? So this is the uncommon, but in the real world, this is the 1 in 25, which is a relatively rare comic. Very hard to find, very hard to get a 9.8. So I'm lucky to have this one. And this one is signed. Whenever you see this yellow label, it means it's signed. So this one is signed by Donnie Cates, who's the writer. So he wrote this Venom series. He's the guy who invented Noel and another character I'm going to talk about in a little bit here. So tough one to find. I'm glad I have it. Let me put it over here so I don't try not to destroy these comics. That's a big piece of it. So we're talking about Black Panther. So let's just talk about Black Panther a second here. So Black Panther is coming. Black Panther 2 is coming in November. And so this would be a comic that potentially has already been spiking, but is this one here, Black Panther 2, which is the first appearance of Shuri, his sister, which we've seen in Black Panther 1. And of course, is speculated to become Black Panther. So this is a great comic to find if you can. It is a little bit spendy, but not crazy. This one is in pretty good shape. I'd say not maybe a 9.8 because there's some spine ticks here, but maybe a 9.6 or something like that. And then, I'll put it there. That's probably a bad place for it. This is Black Panther 5. So this is a different run. And this is where, in this comic, Shuri becomes Black Panther. So this is another one that I think I got for very, very cheap, but now has really gone up in price because people are speculating that she'll become Black Panther. So another good one. So some people ask me about the bags and boards. I'll just explain this. So there's a hard piece of cardboard back here called a backing board. And I usually put 2 of them back here. So I actually have 2 backing boards. And then this plastic that I use is a little bit nicer than normal plastics called Mylar. They're a little bit more expensive bags. But all of my comics I put in Mylar with 2 backing boards to help protect them. And so what you don't want is the comic to slide down here and smash on the bottom or the corners to get smashed. So the entire comic is sitting on this backing board. So that prevents it from getting the corners getting smashed. So if you're, a crazy comic person like myself, that's what you do. If you have any other questions, of course I can answer those. DV floor in 1 year. I don't know what that is. I don't know what you mean by that. Uncanny 102. No, that's not the first appearance of Cable. Thoughts on VeVe marketing or lack thereof? Yeah, I mean, I think that's been things that myself and other people have been critical of. But of course, they're running their own company. I've run a bunch of companies, and people are always critical of how I run them too. So for whatever reason, and they're not stupid people, obviously. They are utilizing their resources in the way they are right now, and maybe they feel like they need to continue to update the app to make the app a little bit better, or whatever it might be, before they start dumping some money into marketing. But not all marketing takes money. You know, there's a lot of things you can do that are, you know, quote unquote free. But, you know, for whatever reason, they haven't decided to do those types of things yet. They have been at the shows and other things. So you know, that's huge. But I think they need a broader and more sustained kind of strategy towards marketing. But once again, that's their game. So but yeah, I think they should definitely do more. I would agree with you there. Marvelous packs. I can't wait for World by Night. Would be awesome to see Black Bolt in there too. Love Moon Knight. Yeah, I actually like Moon Knight a lot. Kind of weird, but definitely enjoyed it. And Werewolf by Night looks really weird too. I love that it's in black and white. The big character that is rumored, and I have two of her first appearance. I have two of her comics is Elsa. So we'll see if she shows up, because that'll be interesting. All right. And for Spec, Marvel Superhero Secret Wars 8 classic cover. Yes, I have that one over there. I have a couple of those, actually. So Secret Wars number 8 is the classic one with Spider-Man. He's in the black suit right after he kind of found the black suit and put it on. And that's just a classic cover. And kind of, I think that it's technically labeled Origin of the black suit, but you get to see him when you read the comic find the black suit and put it on, which obviously, you know, is significant and leads to other things. Slider says, good, thanks. Okay. See if we can keep up here. Metazone says, oh my God, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is so good. I missed that show. So well made. Do you think the character return to MCU? Yeah, I don't know. I agree. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had great characters. I like so many of them that I think, and there is rumors that they could be in Secret Invasion, which is coming out next year. We did see a trailer for that at D23. It would make sense. I'd be super excited if they brought some of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in there. They've asked the actors and actresses, and of course they deny everything. So when, you know, we'll see what happens. But also, you know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, so that could open the door for that. So we'll see what happens. Don Hyun said sign nice. Yes. I try to get so I'm very specific about my signatures. I don't always get what I want, but I like to get either the writer or the cover artist or one of the interior artists. Kind of getting other people is cool, but I don't, you know, obviously there's exceptions to that. But so the one that I just showed was the writer. And so that was and I have other ones that are signed by the writer and the artist. So that's really good. Mustus says, how much can an iconic comic like FF1 benefit from the upcoming? It can benefit quite a bit. And really it's twofold, because number one, it's just, it can bring eyes to that IP that people who kind of, you know, didn't know about it. That's the first thing. And number two is, you never know, and especially if the movie's super spectacular, it will drive some, you know, fanatical kind of people that really will do anything they can to get their hands on a comic like that. And so anytime you get more people that are buying it, of course, that's demand and the price can go up. So yeah, I think FF1, especially if it's a good movie, could definitely go up. FF1 and, you know, X-Men 1 and Amazing Fantasy 15. I mean, even if the movie's a bomb, and we've had that, so the other two Fantastic Four movies did not do too well. It's just such an iconic comic, and you know, the stories and the characters are so big that it may fall back a little bit, but really it's just going to keep on chugging. The book is just too big to fail. So But yeah, if it's great, it definitely could push the price up. You can't have Secret Wars without Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom. Yeah, they definitely play a big role in all of the different Secret Wars, especially Doctor Doom, right? So I do think we will see Doctor Doom. The rumor is that we'll see Doctor Doom in Black Panther 2. I don't know if that's true or not. So that would mean that we could see Doctor Doom as soon as, literally a couple months from now. And that'll be exciting. It'll be interesting to see who they cast. There's so many rumors. The latest rumor is that they casted Henry Cavill. So, I don't know. We'll see. VeVe Collectibles says, after Wakanda Forever, Doom comic is going to explode. Yeah. I agree completely. It's already pushing. It's just going to get crazier. What is the real FA on VeVe Comics Collectibles? What is the real FA? Which character are you thinking about? The first VeVe comic is Marvel Comics 1. And the first collectible is Todd, the Todd McFarlane Batman. That's the first collectible. So hopefully I answered that. I thought the same thing with doing Infinity Wars without Silver Surfer and Adam Warlock. Yeah, they obviously played huge roles, but they kind of figured it out. So maybe they would try to do different things, and they certainly could. They're smart, and they're going to change it up. I mean, they're not going to keep it the way it is. And a lot of there's been multiple Secret Wars, and so most people believe that they're going to go more with the Hickman Secret Wars, which is fine. I like that one too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. But Adam Warlock, we're gonna. It's basically confirmed that we're gonna see Adam Warlock in the next Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie, which is coming out, I believe, next summer. So that'll be a fun one. And then Silver Surfer, we just don't know, right? Silver Surfer is so tied to Fantastic Four, but you never know. They could maybe pull it out, and then there's Silver Surfer is obviously super tied to Galactus, who's a big bad guy. So when would they introduce him? I don't know. Are they saving everything? It seems like it, because it seems like this, when they announced everything at San Diego Comic-Con, it seems like they're leading up to Kang and then Secret Wars. And so I don't think they're going to introduce another big bad guy such as Galactus or Null or something like that, because they're going to save that, of course, for the next one. So yeah. Howard says, do you own two? No, I sold one. So I only own one UF4 SR. At one point, I think I owned 3 or 4 of them. I can't remember, but I sold them. Yeah. So yeah, I only own one now. I think I own one. Maybe I own 2. I own at least one, but yeah. UF4 SR is a great one. Obviously, I'm a huge Miles fan. And because in the real world, that particular cover is so expensive. Really, even since it's a modern comic, you don't really find it like in a really low grade, but like a low grade for that one might be like a 9.0 or an 8.5. And even an 8.5 or 9.0 of that comic, I think is going to probably sell for $4,000 or $5,000. And then if you get like a 9.2 or 9.6, it's going to sell for 10,000, 15, something crazy. And because the real world price is so high, I just feel like Ultimate Fallout 4 Secret Rare has a great chance to get up there. Why is there no mention of Namor? I mean, we definitely saw him in the Black Panther trailer. And I think we'll probably see, maybe Submariner #1. So yeah, I definitely think we're going to see some more Namor. So yeah. Mezzo says Darth Vader. Yeah, I love Darth Vader too. I did not get an ultra rare Darth Vader, unfortunately. I'd like to, but I haven't been able to get one yet. What do you think of the new Spider characters in the current Edge of Spider-Verse? I haven't read it yet. I definitely want to. So I have them, but I haven't got a chance to run them. But you tell me. Maybe you can jump in here and tell me, or just put a couple posts on what you think of it. But yeah, I definitely want to get into that. I am behind on a lot of comics because I've been busy with work, family, obviously busy with VeVe, etc. So I pre-order my comics. I've talked about this a lot. So a lot of my comics, I pre-order from a company called My Comic Shop. And you don't have to do that. You could go to your local comic shop and say, I want to pre-order these comics. And then basically you'll get a discount. And so most comics cost around $5. So they generally give you a discount. So you might be getting them for $4. I pre-order them 90 days in advance, so I get a massive discount. So I'm getting these comics for $2.65 or something crazy like that. And so yeah, I just order a bunch of them. You can even take some chances when they're $2.65, right? So I order some stuff and then they just kind of accumulate, and then I read a bunch of them when I have time. Joe just said, I recently started watching Comics Explained videos. Comics Explained is great. He doesn't like Black Bolt. I find it funny. Yeah, so Comics Explained, that's the name of the YouTube channel. And he is got a great voice and knows 50 times more about comics than I do. And he talks about different comic runs, different characters. He's a great YouTube channel. If you're interested in learning literally anything about different characters, different runs, you know, I want to know about Secret Wars, I want to know about Silver Surfer Black, whatever it is, go to his channel, listen to his videos. Now, his videos are long because he talks through them, but very interesting. So yeah, I recommend that to anybody. The name of it is Comics Explained. Great channel. What are the benefit of hindsight would have been better, smarter invest in physical grails versus NFTs? You know, I don't know. It's tough because everything has kind of gone down, and obviously NFTs and NFT comics are a super speculative, super high risk investment. We don't know what's going to happen with them. We don't know where they're going to go. But I don't know. I'm a true believer. Obviously, I'm very biased. I have a YouTube channel. I bought a bunch of this stuff. But I think they're going to be pretty popular. I think there's going to be a lot of people that collect digital comics. That's just my opinion. The Palace is in here. What's going on? Thanks for stopping by. VeVe Collectible. Sleeping, you got Fantastic Four 48 back. I do have a Fantastic Four 48. I have a Fantastic Four 49, but I do not have a Fantastic Four 50. Mainly because I'm trying to match the grades up. But yes, I have a 48 over there. It's only a 4.5, so nothing super crazy, but a great, so Fantastic Four 48, for people that don't know, is the first appearance of Silver Surfer. I'm a huge Silver Surfer fan, so that was a big book for me to get. Galactics and Sorcerer may show up in the Mungo anime. That's possible. That's possible. I don't know when that show's coming out. Maybe you can throw it in here when that show's coming out. Would you say Avengers 4 is a high B tier? Yes, I do. I do think it could suffer a little bit if Captain America 1 comes out, though. But it's a great book. It's amazing. Such a great book, great cover. Kauka, why is last week only 2 drops per 2 weeks? I don't know. They kind of slowed down. I'm trying to fix my hat. How do I fix my hat? I can buy a lot of comics, but I can't fix my hat. I don't know why they had 2 drops. Interesting, right? They're always trying something different. Obviously, we just saw this kind of craziness with the lamp and the Mickey and all the other nonsense. I gotta drink some water here. All this talking is tough. I don't do very many streams. I think this is my 3rd stream. I go on other people's streams, but I don't stream myself, so I'm not that good at it. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever used StreamYard. It's pretty easy though. I'll watch the video on it, of course. And but yeah, the first time I did it, I didn't have any water, and you would be surprised how much your voice is strained by talking all the time. Even if you have another person, then it's a lot easier. But these people that just do it themselves for hours at a time, like Randy, unbelievable. I don't know how he does it. It's just a machine. Tony Bahamas says, what do you think about VeVe Comics NFT to stay in VeVe apps and you can't own it and won't be able to transfer to your own wallet or cold storage? Not sure. I think that you eventually will, but I'm not sure. It is a closed environment. That's, which kind of, as we know, is is not necessarily maybe in the, like other NFTs, in the spirit of other NFTs. And some, as you know, have said that they're not NFTs because of that. And I'm not an expert in that, so I couldn't speak to that. What I do know is that it seems like what's kind of controlling it is the fact that Marvel makes a decision on who they're going to give their IP to, and they've given their IP to VeVe, love it or hate it. It doesn't seem like they're going to give their this specific IP for these comics to anybody else right now. So that ensures the scarcity. So I think there's two parts of it, which is it going to be, are these NFTs going to be interoperable with other metaverses? And I use that very loosely. So perfect example, what I think of is like Zoom. I do a lot of Zoom calls. It's obviously kind of like, I think in the future will be kind of like a virtual room if you choose, and you can kind of do that already in some of those kind of Zoom-like scenarios. So if I wanted to show some of my comics in that virtual area, like if I was in a Zoom or other virtual area, and Zoom is not associated with VeVe, but if it was interoperable, then they would allow us to pull assets in there. So in my office in Zoom, I could have an AF-15 or I could have a Venom 3 or whatever it is. That would be key. But then the other piece of it is, like you said, taking your stuff in the cold storage out of VeVe. I feel like that's pretty important, and hopefully we'll end up getting there. It's just that everything right now is just being built from the Web3 world. It's so early, and we'll find out. We'll find out. Brian's in here. Hey, Brian. Thanks for stopping by. Brian, if you don't know, runs the it's a great channel, talks about a lot of different things, but also runs the YouTube Comic Awards. So go check out his stuff. Really, really good. Ty Fam, you can buy 10, would you stack more Todd, Darth Vader, URs, or both equally at the moment? Man, they're pretty good. Todd's a little bit less expensive. Darth Vader has less mints, but he also has commons. I think they're pretty similar. Maybe 5 of each. I don't think you can go wrong with either of those. They're just so iconic. Already super expensive. I just think this, if we get more users, and obviously there's other stuff going on in the world that's all asset classes are really down right now, from stocks to whatever. If we can come, I think they're going to be worth a bunch. Justin says, is anybody buying the lamp just a spec on a third wish? Possibly. Obviously, we don't know. I think Alex said there's not a third wish. I think then, and I don't know if he was trolling or not, but David did say there would be, so we don't know. I don't know. It'd be fun. Plus, it's a really cool NFT. The smoke is so spectacular. If you're into that, I think it's pretty good. Do you have a number 44 silver? I do not have the number 48. I have the number 41, which is the first one. But yeah, I'd be interested in the 48. I'd be also interested in the 1966 one, but they're expensive, and I don't really have the liquidity for those right now. I do have the 41 though, so I'm pretty happy with that one. Would you prefer SR AF-15 or SR MC1? I think you can't go wrong with either. Maybe AF-15 because it is maybe a little bit more iconic, and well, I shouldn't even say it's more iconic. More people probably know Spider-Man. There's less mints though. That's the one thing. It's like, I think 600 to 250. So that might be something to think about. But I don't think you can go wrong with either. They're both great. I don't own either. I don't own the SR AF-15, and I don't own the SR MC1. So I don't have a dog in that fight. The Show Moon Girl and Daredevil Dinosaur premiere on February 10th. Oh, awesome. That'll be a fun one. Kalkal says, when VeVe work with Capcorn, I want to see Street Fighter and Tech. Yeah, that would be so cool. Yeah, I don't know what IPs they have. They have a lot more coming. And that's one of the great things about VeVe. They've done so many partnerships, continuing to do more. VVT says, we heard that you're live. Love from Vivian3. Hey, Vivian3. Good to talk to you guys. Glad you stopped over. Lalo. How many total comics in VeVe do you have, Sleeping? I think I have around 1,500, maybe a little bit more than 1,500 comics, which is a lot. But I have a lot of commons. I've stacked a lot of commons of different ones. And, some of these commons you can get for $2, $3. So, I've been kind of grabbing those. But I have a lot of secret rares too. So I have quite a few comics. I have a few comics in real life, a lot of comics, I have a bunch of comics. Should we show some other comics? Should we take a break here and show a couple more comics? So this is one I showed on, or we talked about at least on Superstar's channel the other day. So this is New Agents of Atlas. So this is a relatively new comic, and this is an all Asian team that came out, I want to say like 4 years ago, maybe. And I do believe they'll build this team to a certain degree. And we already have a couple of the characters. Obviously, one of the main characters of this team is Shang-Chi. And another one of the characters is Jimmy Woo, which we already have in the MCU. So some of these other characters I think we may see coming in the future. And then this is an interesting book that if you wanted to spec on, is still relatively cheap. Oh, and a lot of these first appearances of these other characters are in this book. This is their first appearances. So that's an interesting book to look at. Here, let me jump over here. Do you know YouTubers like Swaggle House and Bronze and Modern Guards are on VeVe and are very bullish on comic NFTs? I know Swaggle House. I've actually been on his channel before. Great guy. Literally the nicest guy. If you guys, I know a lot of people in here right now are VeVe people, but if you want to learn a lot about physical comic books, Swaggle House's channel is great. And Bronze and Modern Guards, which I have never met them personally. I know them. I watch their channel. It's a great channel. They focus more on physical comics, but I didn't know that they specifically were in that VeVe NFT. So thumbs up to them. I wish they would talk about it a little bit more, right? So yeah, that's okay. How big is Fantastic Four? It's a huge book, very expensive, hard to find, and it's just a big book. Obviously, big on VeVe too. It's kind of gone down because I think people are infatuated with the new shiny things. But a great book if you can grab it any way, shape, or form in VeVe or in real life. I would grab it. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with that book. Any good copyright specs that haven't taken off yet? Yeah, I mean, there's haven't taken off yet. That's interesting. Let me give that one some thought. You are AF15, Todd, or Vader? Obviously I like AF15. I really like it because I think there's only 500. I think there's only 500 of those. I could be wrong. Let me look. Um, 500 URs. Whew. So that'd be one to look at, obviously. And you could buy a couple of those for the same price of I can't remember the price. Oh, I guess the price is like 1,800 of those. 1,900, something like that. So yeah, it's expensive. Todd is, a little bit less than Vader. Todd is intriguing just because he is obviously he's the first Batman and he's the first, VeVe collectible. I think that holds a lot of weight and is always interesting. I do own a Todd. And then Vader is just, if not the biggest, one of the biggest Star Wars and really villains of all time. It's tough. You can't go wrong. I don't think. And if we get a lot more users and VeVe takes off and if soon, right? I think you can't go wrong with any of them. Thoughts on stacking Avenging for Commons? I like it. I just the one thing. Let me look at the. I can never remember the mint number, so let me look up the mint numbers on that one again. I like it. The problem is that in my mind, once again, it's a great comic. You should grab it. Is it's not the first appearance of Captain America. It's the first appearance in Silver Age. So once they release Captain America 1, which is his first appearance, which will be a huge comic, like AF-15 style, huge comic. I think that one could go down. Avengers 4 could go down, but it's still going to have a lot of value. It's kind of like dissimilar to Amazing Spider-Man #1 versus Amazing Fantasy 15. That's the one that I would put it up against. If prices drop, are you backing up the truck and buying more, or do you hold here? I mean, I don't think I ever back up the truck. I mean, to a certain degree I have, because I guess I have a lot of stuff. But, and I'm really a advocate of not going all in. I've done some videos on that. I'll talk about that in a second. But no, I've still been buying. I mean, so the prices are dropping. Have dropped, I don't even know. I mean, they've dropped significantly, right? But I'm still trying to pick up things that I think are valuable. So my answer is I'm still buying. Just to talk a little bit about going all in, I think you really, and you just have to look at your budget, have to look to the future, have to, you're dabbling in a highly speculative market where you could lose all your money. If you don't know that, you should know that. And, we've seen it drop, we've seen the highs in February and we've seen it drop. It could drop even further. It could drop all the way to zero. We don't know. Right. So just make sure. So that's my only thing when I, do you go all in, that I don't think that's wise. Someone slept a bunch of 3-digit AF-15 MC1s yesterday. How do you feel about the future of these? I feel great. I think it's amazing. That person's probably very smart. And the 3-digit ones are going to be super valuable. We know that. We know. So just a repeat. Okay. Right now, do you prefer stacking commons on commons or going for the ultra rares and secret rares? It depends on the comic. I do like. Okay, so we've seen, and I think everybody's recognized this. We've seen this interesting kind of, and I think it started with AF-15, but people are really down on the uncommons. Now, generally speaking, the uncommons are much more rare than the commons, 4-to-1 ratio. But they only have, in a lot of cases, just a color splash difference. Now, sometimes they're completely different. Like in the case of Venom 3, where it's more, the common and uncommon are actually completely different covers. Then the uncommon seems to do okay. But when it's just a color variant of the common, we've seen really over the past month and a half, I think, since AF-15, a lot of the uncommons are now not performing well. But when things are not performing, that's when you kind of want to look at them. I still think that scarcity is pretty interesting. And because it's 4-to-1, so you never know. So I have been stacking commons, but I've also stacked uncommons too. So for example, which one was it? It was super cheap, so I bought a bunch of them. I can't remember which one, but I bought a bunch of the uncommons because they were so cheap. So the other thing that we don't know, which, when is it going to happen? Probably not for a while, but they've talked about it in multiple times, is the burning thing. So burning commons. Now, would you get more if you burned an uncommon? I don't know. What happens if you burn a circuit rare, right? We don't know. Okay. But you would assume that you would get more value if you're burning a secret rare and an uncommon versus a common. And once again, how many and what do we have to burn? We don't know, right? How does it even work? We don't know. But if you could get a bunch of commons for cheap, maybe you can burn those and get a secret rare or some sort of, I think they mentioned to be a different type of comic. That's definitely something I think we should all look at and think about. I'm thinking about that. Justin says, would you spend gems on 1 or 2 grails or stack commons or maybe V+ commons instead of top grails? Okay. So as I always say, when you're thinking about this, first of all, if you want something because you want to collect it, you're like a huge, Moon Knight fan, then just grab that. That's just do that and save for that and do that. But when you're talking straight investment, you want to think about what you think you can afford and what's going to double. And so generally speaking, a lot of the, as you go down the tiers in comics, like tier D comic, I don't know if that thing's ever going to double. It might not. These tier C and tier D comics are and we're just getting more and more comics. So there's going to be so many comics. I just don't know if the tier D and tier C comics are going to double. Or there's going to be people are going to go back. Now, maybe MCP helps them and the burning helps them. But so to answer your question, I think the higher tier comic you can get, you're going to be better off, because the chances of that really exploding because people want it are much higher. So that's what I think. I always kind of try to go for the better comic. VeVe solved a huge problem in collecting comics by getting them graded and then sold. I think it's still appealed to a lot of real world comics when I see more excited. Yeah. The whole graded comic thing, obviously I'm very familiar with it. It really is a odd thing. I'm not as against it as everybody else because I've done it for so many years, and I feel like I'm so used to it. It's just like part of the process. But you're right. And now, especially because there's been some issues with some of the grading companies over the past, my hat is all messed up still. This hat does not fit me well. I should not be wearing this hat on stream. I don't know why. And the Twins are not doing well now. They were doing so well, and now they're like dying. Anyways, so yeah, we'll see. I agree with you there. It's a different. It gets you past all of the other nonsense of a third party kind of dictating the value of your comic, which is kind of frustrating sometimes. I admit, I'm with you. Howard says, someone bought Mint 1939 MC1 for $10K. What's your thought on that particular book? Amazing. I mean, it is, those comics, I mean, they're one-of-ones, right? Because there's only one of them. And so I think, and other people like NFT Pirates and Comics and Crypto and a lot of other people that, much smarter than I am, they have talked about the significance of these certain mints. Now it's amazing that it's sold for that much, right? Because that's like a secret rare, the value of a secret rare, I might not be quite right, because I think it was a common. But it shows you how much people value that. And that's always been a big question. And so that answers it. It's basically equal to a secret rare. Now, if you had a 1939 MC1 secret rare, oh my gosh, could you imagine how much it would be worth? A lot of money. Now for trade, Captain America 1, Amazing Fan 15, which one would you rather have a 9.8 score? I mean, well, neither exist in the real world, but yeah, I mean, probably Amazing Fantasy 15, just because I love Spider-Man. I do like Captain America. The Captain America 1 would be worth more. Much more rare book. Mr. Tong says, hey, Sleepin', how did you find your first thought about VeVe? Great channel. I think I read some press release about it. I'm really obviously into comics. I remember hearing about NFTs. I think NBA Top Shot was really the big NFT craze at that time. And board yacht apes, or board apes, whatever. And then obviously I heard, they said that they were going to do this thing with VeVe and Marvel, and so I got super interested. So yeah, thank you for your compliment channel. I'm still surprised that we don't have any Master of Kung Fu on VeVe. Somebody's comments. Any thoughts on Brother Voodoo? Yeah, so Master of Kung Fu is Shang-Chi. Obviously, we had his movie last year. I think they're just waiting for the appropriate time to drop it. I do have whatever his first appearance is somewhere. It wasn't called Master of Kung Fu. That didn't change for another couple issues, I think it was. But yeah, I think we'll see it. And then Brother Voodoo, he was so much speculation in Doctor Strange 2 that he was going to show up. I think he will inevitably. And yeah, we just gotta wait for it. I have I don't have his first. I have his second appearance. I don't have his first appearance. Because anything with the big 3 on its cover is highly coveted in my opinion. Yes, I agree. Justin says, will you spend gems on 1 or 2 grails? Okay, yeah, I answered that one. So I love because I love uncommons. I have all of them except 2. See, that's great. See, and that's fun. And that's exactly what I try to tell people, is that different people want to collect different things. So if you're investing, you have to see that people are going to collect subsets or odd sets. The one I always gave an example of is in the comic book world, in the physical comic, there are people that just collect red covers. There's people that collect covers with females blowing bubblegum. And so there are people that are going to collect all the ultra rares or all the uncommons or all the rares. And so here's a great example of one right here. And those uncommons are relatively low in price. I mean, obviously you're talking about ASM 252. They're pretty expensive, but yeah, I love it. I love it. And I like a lot of the uncommon. I really like a lot of the uncommon covers. Howard says, New Mutant 98 SR variant is much scarcer than physical graded New Mutant 98. Seems undervalued for me. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that's, I did a video about that a little bit ago where these comics are relatively rare, depending on the comic, once again, are relatively rare compared to their counterparts in real life. And so there is a chance that some of these things could really go up in value. VeVe Clark says, do you think Batman 423 Spike has anything to do with VeVe? Oh, I think 100%. No one cared. It's not like no one cared, but everybody I mean, I think that everybody loved that cover. I love that cover. It's obviously Todd McFarlane. It's just an iconic cover, but VeVe is what pushed it, pushed it up. It's 100% VeVe in my mind. And I have sorry, somebody texted me. I have a 423. Wait, is it right there? Yeah. Can you see it behind my head? Let me get out of the way. That's a 9.8. And there are not many 9.8s. That's the first print 9.8. And I want to say there's like only 500 of them or something like that. So that comic right there is probably worth, I think they were selling for $2,000 or $3,000. So yeah, 100% VeVe is pushed at. And I think it's here to stay, because as more people come into VeVe, as more people, know what Todd is, as more, it just, the demand is going to stay there, especially when there isn't that many 9.8s, et cetera. So then they got to settle, which means they're going to get something else. And it's just going to push all the prices up. Slava, if we have another big wave of users on comments, might get swept pretty fast. 1 point. Yes, we were just talking about that. Yeah. It's the ratio of 1.1 to 4. I really do think so. Win membership to your channel. I've thought about a lot of different ways. Obviously, so I did sell some hats. That was more for fun than anything. I do think I'll have some utility for the hats. I'll have some giveaways or something like that. And I'm going to sell other things too. And my deal has always been to try to help people with the knowledge that I have. But on the other hand, there are some costs. Like I have to pay for VeVe Rank. I have to pay for the hosting of the website and other stuff. Like it's not, expensive, but, and you do put a lot of time into this stuff. And so you do think about, oh, maybe I want to make some money. Maybe I want to do that, some of this and that. But yeah, if I could really, the problem is that once I have a membership, then I'm like, okay, I have to tell things to my members that I don't tell everybody else because they're paying. Like they should get a lot of goodies, whatever. But I just want to tell everybody anything I want to tell. I don't want to have any. I just want, if I'm in a Twitter space, I just want to spew whatever's on my brain. I don't want to feel like, oh, I got to wait until this So that's why I haven't done a membership. I guess I could just do a membership, very, very low membership, where I say like, it's whatever, $1, $2. I don't even know how it works, but it's $2. There's you don't get anything other than I'll say thank you. But it's just to support me and pay for some of these costs. So maybe that's it. I think my dog is making noises. Hold on a second. I'm going to let my dog in here. Come here. There. I let my dog in. Hopefully it doesn't bark. Do not bark, dog. I'm live. Do you want to see my dog? Come here, dog. Oh, here you go. Here's my dog. Dog's name is Kinsley. And it's kind of a crazy dog. It's a rescue dog. So he's kind of frantic and crazy. Are you frantic and crazy? Yes, you're frantic and crazy. I have a little bed underneath my desk. Here, go lay down in your bed. Yeah. I apologize if he barks. I have my finger on the mute button in case he barks. Burning comics will be big. Yes, 100%. I think it's game changing. And this is where we talk about the differences between physical and NFTs is they have all these other crazy things that, I mean, I guess things happen to physical comics, they're, maybe they're the flood or someone inadvertently, destroys their comic, but not like it could happen in an NFT world where people are, burning things on purpose, craziness. So it's going to change the game. I don't know what's going to happen. It's literally crazy. Plus, some comic that nobody cares about that's selling for $2, suddenly a bunch of people are going to buy a bunch of them, burn them, and try and, madness. We don't know what's going to happen. It's madness. Not for trade. In your opinion, what will get physical comic book collectors to VeVe? I don't know. It's just going to be, and some of them will never come. I've said before that I think, and Comics and Crypto has talked to me and other people. We think that maybe 5, maybe 10% of physical comic book collectors are interested in VeVe. That's just our estimate, but it's low. And I certainly don't think it will ever be 80%. But if we can get, maybe 10% or 20% more, so, that would be significant. And comic book collectors, they generally have a budget for it. They generally know what they're doing. They understand FAs. They're experienced collectors. And so when they come into the app and they start doing their own analysis and they'll have their own weight, it's going to be exciting. I think they're going to buy stuff. They're definitely going to be smart about it. So I don't know what we can do. I think a lot of the boxes have been ticked. Okay. Cash out is a huge one. A lot of people ask me about that. And so that's done. I think, I actually think MCP and some of those burning concepts, once they're in place, will be interesting because it's so different than the physical world. That will kind of spur some interest, I think, from some people. And then I think the last thing is we just need more time because a lot of people think, oh, this NFT thing is going to be gone in another year or two. Why would I put money in that? Not if it's, as years go by, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, I think it's going to become much more apparent that this thing, NFT comics and whatnot, digital collecting is here to stay. And then the last thing is can you use these things in places that they are now seeing and they're like, wow, I wish I really had that, because that would be kind of cool. And that's why I always say, like, the Zoom meetings are kind of fun places to have your comics displayed. Like, obviously in my office here, I have comics displayed, but they will be like, oh, I'm now doing Zoom or whatever. And all these other guys, because they bought these comics, are able to put stuff up in their virtual offices. And I can't do that. I think that would be a way for them to get involved. So we'll just see what happens. Do you think FTP will help cushion the free fall market? It may, but it's not going to stop it. So I think, and Superstar Money did some analysis on this, but if you, and as I say, so the big tools that I use are Puddin' Cheeks, which is going on Twitter. You can look for Puddin' Cheeks, and he's just going to show you how many gems are being purchased. VeVe Fox is going to show you how many, which shows a lot of different things, but what I look is active wallets, buyers and sellers on a daily basis. And Bravos Assassin, follow him on Twitter. He posts like once a month how many. My dog is Bravos Assassin posts how many wallets have what collectibles, number of collectibles. And using those 3 people, there's probably other ones, you can kind of see where we're at. And where we're at is we are, 10% of what we were in January. And so until that changes, MCP or this or that, I just don't think we're going to see the kind of price movements that people are interested in until that happens. And that's not necessarily even VeVe's fault. Some of it might be. Maybe they should do more marketing and other things. But it's just the way the world is right now with, interest rates and war in, Ukraine and all these other things that are going on. That's just where we're at right now in the cycle. Obviously economies go up, they go down, and we're obviously kind of in a down right now. Marvel artists created these secret rare covers using interior panel. I think it's brilliant and more correct. Yeah, I think no, I don't love all the SRs. They have, I think, kind of fumbled on a couple. I'm trying to think of some of the ones I don't like as much. Like the Thanos one, I don't like as much. Iron Man 55, which is Thanos' first appearance. I know they took a panel, but I think they could have done a little bit better with it. And there's a couple other ones that I think they didn't do as good a job as they could have on some of those SRs. But for the most part, I think they look pretty good. Do you ever see digital comics being worth more than the physical comic? Yeah, I think in some cases they will be. In some cases they might already be. But yeah, I think it's just another thing. It's just another thing that's slightly different that will have value. Well, it definitely is going to. Well, it already has value, and I think it's just going to continue to have value. Tacos Gaming, I like that name. Hey, Sleepin', brilliant channel. How do you rate the original Ghost Rider overall, and will the new Ghost Rider impact the price of the original? I'm thinking you're talking about comics. How do I rate it? I mean, Johnny Blaze is obvious. The original Ghost Rider is obviously the bigger of the comics, not even close. But I do think that there are Ghost Rider fans, and they're going to want all the Ghost Riders. And there's a mythology behind all the different Ghost Riders and whatnot. And we'll probably see that in MCU. And I think they'll want to collect them all. Now, I still think the original will always be worth way, way more than the one that just came out, the all-new Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, that came out yesterday. Howard says, any tip on buying physical, low-grade, Silver Age comics? Research. They can be super expensive. So you could be, depending on what you're buying, you're talking thousands or potentially tens of thousands of dollars. So you want to do a lot of research. You want to buy from a reputable place like Elite Comics 11. And if you want more information, definitely DM me. But yeah, a lot of research. FA. Yeah, that's my dog, Kinsley, my crazy dog, who hopefully will settle down and go to sleep here. Do you say Kinsley? That's my daughter's name. Yep, Kinsley. And we didn't even name it. It was Rescue Dog. So they said its name was Kinsley, so we just kept its name. Burning people will help understand digital scarcity. Yeah, I think that hopefully they already understand it, but burning is going to make it more madness, right? On comic, waiting for ASM 129. Yes, the yellow cover is going to shine in our VeVe showroom. So yeah, so ASM 129 is the first appearance of Punisher. I do not own that comic in real life. I need to get it. And huge comic, iconic. It's the one where there's like a bullseye on. It's a yellow cover, bullseye on Spider-Man. If you've ever seen that one, and the Punisher is also there. And so yeah, I can't wait. I'm sure that they'll wait for the Punisher to be brought back to Disney Plus. So it might be a little bit of time before we see that one. When can you withdraw money like 100? I think it's better. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're concerned that literally everybody pull out their money. So they put this kind of 1,000 gem limit, which is, I know that not many people probably have 1,000 gems. I think a lot of people are unhappy with the fees. But once again, this is very early in the, in the lifespan of this technology, of this company. I just think of the internet. Some of the fees on the internet, were large in the beginning, and obviously they shrunk over time as people used it. So I think we'll see what happens. But yeah, I see what you're saying there for sure. VeVe says, I see a lot of people saying most comic rails already dropped on VeVe. Totally disagree. There's so many classic comics. Yeah, tons of great comics still to come. And we'll see if when they come, and I think they know now they have to they're definitely spreading them out a little bit more. But I mean, even if they dropped one big one per quarter, that's only 4 per year. I mean, there's still a lot of big time grails out there that you know, we would all want. You know, think of a mini offhand. Fantastic 448, first appearance of the Silver Surfer would be one that I'd be interested in. But, you know, Fantastic 449, First Galactus. I mean, just Incredible Hulk #1. I just showed you that one. That's a huge one. You know, who wouldn't want that one, right? You know, X-Men #1, giant size X-Men #1. So there's a lot of big time comics that we haven't seen. 129 that someone just mentioned, which is the first Punisher. Hulk 181, the first Wolverine. You know, so there's so many big ones that I think people are going to want, and they're fun to collect. And then there's the second appearances, and then there's going to be huge runs that people are going to want to collect, because that's, you know, that's fun. So a lot of great comics to come, and I think there'll be a lot of them are going to be very collectible. VeVe got me interested in physicals, having my Avengers 4 white page pressed, sending out the grading, wish me luck. Oh, I do wish you luck. Yeah, Avengers 4 is such a beautiful book. And really, for most people, is the first appearance of, it's not the first appearance of Captain America, but for normal humans, it is, because Captain America 1 in the real world is, I don't even know how many there are. 50 of them, maybe 50 of them left in the world, and they're like ridiculously expensive. Odds of getting DC comic, I don't know. You know, they just dropped that DC comic on the Bat Cowls. So I'm assuming it's readable. Maybe it's like you can see it in VR too, kind of like. So you wonder if Bat Cowls and that universe is going to get the DC comics. I don't know. They're definitely going to have to open it up, because I don't know how many Bat Cowl owners there are. Maybe 4,000, maybe 5,000 of them. They definitely don't want only 5,000 people being able to buy DC comics. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I think, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure. But you'd think that they could definitely make a good case for it, because they already have so many people that love comics on VeVe and are willing to pay big bucks for it. So hopefully they could get it. Dino. Hey, Dino. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Dino, if you don't know, has an incredible channel, is a great guy. Go follow him. Howard, thoughts on the first ever DC NFT airdrop for Cowls? Yeah, I don't know much about it. I just saw that happen today and looked great. I don't know if you can read it. I don't know what it's about. I don't know anything. But yeah, I saw the cover and it looked great. I collect gems. He does. He does. Slider. Oh, yeah. Now you're going to get a bunch of Dino guys in here. 10K college, 4K owners, maybe. Yeah. So there's only 4K owners is what Dino's saying. I wish I had a call though. Legacy Call 1 is the first cover drop for now. Full comic will come later. Okay, there's your answer. And I'm sure you'll be able to read it, and there'll be all kinds of other crazy stuff. So really good. I'll give you $5 later for the Great Guy comic. Okay. All right. I got through the comics for 10 seconds. Let's go through a couple more comics for fun. Because I was going to do some comics. That was my goal. So let's talk more fun comics. Okay. So what I want to do is talk about Spec Comics in a physical world that if you wanted to buy some physical, you could take a shot on. So we will move to, I did Star Wars earlier. So we will move to this comic here. This is Miles Morales number 13. And you're like, why? I don't really care about Rhino. This is the first appearance of Miles Morales' little sister, who we don't know who she becomes, but she definitely will become somebody significant, and people think that she becomes Spider-Zero. So we'll find out. That is the cover A. This is the very rare cover B, which in a 9.8, and I think this is a 9.8. This is a pretty good version of it. Sells for like $300-$400, something like that, which is significant because this comic is not that old. And another significance is I bought a bunch of them, so that makes me happy. Anyways, those are good ones. They're not that expensive if you wanted to take a shot on it. And then this is the second print. So this would be a different like variant and is much more rare. So that's his sister right there, Miles Morales' little sister there. I actually have two of them. So I actually have more over there. But yeah, Miles Morales number 13. If you want to take a shot at a book, that would be one to look at. We did Black Panther, and we'll go talk about Venom. We'll do some Venom books here for fun. So I know not many people know, because I have not read the most recent, well, not the most recent, but I guess the second most recent Venom run, which is the most significant, well, not the most, I guess, Lethal Protector, but one of the most significant Venom runs, which was 35 issues, and a lot of stuff happens, but one of the most important things that first happens is the introduction of Null, who's the big bad guy of all the symbiotes, and then has this huge, like, Infinity War level battle in the end after many years. But the real significance, I think, more lasting significance, is the introduction of Eddie Brock's son, Dylan Brock, who was introduced in this book, which is Venom 9. So this book isn't that expensive, and is the first appearance of him. So this is the cover A. And then this is the more rare 1 in 15, I believe. So it's much more rare. Same book, different cover, Venom 9, first appearance of Dylan. So the significance of Dylan, and spoiler alert for you people, because I really could be ruining things for you, so turn off the stream or whatever, is that Eddie Brock, who if you watch the movies in Venom 1 and Venom 2, Eddie Brock, etc., his son, Dylan, which is in Venom 9, I just showed you that, he eventually takes over as Venom and takes Venom, the symbiote, from his father. His father goes and does other things. I won't spoil that. But he ends up becoming Venom. So Venom changes from Eddie Brock to the new Venom, Dylan Brock, in this book here, Venom 35. So that is not Eddie Brock in the Venom suit anymore. That is Dylan Brock. And you can tell because it has the chains around his arm. So that is a really good one. This is the Venom 35 second print, first cover appearance, and first appearance of Dylan when he takes over as Venom. So Venom 35 and Venom 35 second print. This one is a really good one. And this is like $75 or $100 in a 9.8. So that's my big spec physical book for the day. I don't think this was as heavily printed as people think either. This is a very hard 9.8 to get. Nah, not that hard, I shouldn't say, because it's not a black cover. But this is a very thick book, and thick books have problems. The spines end up getting split, or they get smashed really easy. So because it's so inexpensive, I almost recommend buying this in a 9.8 right now, off of eBay or whatever, because you can get them for 75 or 100 bucks. So that's my big physical pick of the week, or whatever you want to call it, if you're a Venom fan. But I do think I would not be surprised that in the next Venom movie or somewhere along, I mean, we've got a lot more road to go with Venom. I think, well, obviously Sony's running the show, but if I would not be surprised to see Dylan Brock in the next Venom movie, which sets him up as becoming Venom again, and all this other stuff that happens with Noel and all this other nonsense. So, yeah, that's my physical book pick. I think I've gone through all the ones I wanted to go through. So I think I'm almost done. I'll answer some more questions, and then I've been on for an hour and a half. No wonder why I can barely speak, because my voice is going. Let me see what we got here. Let me think here. Oh my gosh. All these things can. Okay. Darth Chaos. I'll call it DC Comics when they don't have comics. Okay. Oh, Roscoe's in here. Hey, Roscoe's another great channel. Go follow Roscoe, and a really good artist. Really good artist. Dino, I have a comic question. Marvel Comics 1000 cover is badass. Is there any value there? I was just making that cover. Okay. So Marvel Comics 1000 has like 10 covers. Okay. The D23 cover, which I have, I have right here. I have up on my, I can never do this right. Okay. It's right there. I'm pointing at it right there. right there. That is a relatively rare cover. I do not know the print run on it, but I would guess it's like 1,000. And there's really no significance to that comic, but it's just a very rare cover. And I do believe it's the first appearance of Mickey with the Marvel characters. So yeah, this one here, I'll get it off the wall. So in a 9.8, and it's such a great cover. It's just so stunning. This comic, I believe, is around $800 in a 9.8. So yeah, it's just an awesome cover. And obviously you have Mickey Mouse and Incredible Hulk, Marvel Comics 1 up here. So it's just a really fun comic to have, but I don't think there's any significance to it, Dino. The cover is meh. Darth. All right, so Darth. Going through here. Alex is in here. Hey. Hi, Alex. Glad to see you in here. Purecast is the 60th anniversary Spider-Man comic behind you. No, I don't think so. Oh, wait. Are you talking? Maybe you're talking about the Marvel Comics 1000. Real or fake? Yeah, I don't know if that's real. Alex, are you real? I don't know. You're probably going to say you are. That Venom 9 look clean. Yes, I have a bunch of Venom 9s, so that was one I spec'd hard on. Just reading through a bunch of ones. What's your UR favorite? Into the Spider-Verse. Okay, so my favorite Marvel movie, it changes. I do think, and I almost think of Infinity War and Endgame as like one movie. Maybe I shouldn't. I do think Infinity War and Endgame are just an incredible accomplishment. So much hype around those two movies, and they really delivered. They somehow came to an end of a long saga. I mean, it's really an incredible achievement, I think. But my favorite movie, the best movie in my mind, I think is Winter Soldier. I think it would be my number one Marvel movie is Captain America. But once again, it changes over time. But I think Winter Soldier is my number one favorite movie. Captain America Winter Soldier. Here's a question for Alex. Okay. Okay, anyways. Just reading through these. Did you read? I read parts of it, but no, I didn't read the whole thing. It's a very thick book. Okay. What's your take on She-Hulk #1? MC recommended it about the SR, says rising popularity. I think it's a good one. I mean, obviously she's a character that is now in the MCU. I don't know what they're going to do with her or how popular she's going to be. I personally am not a big She-Hulk fan, so that kind of makes me biased. I did get the common, and I think I got the rare and the uncommon. I can't remember. I didn't buy the secret rare yet. I think it's at a good price. And there's only 20,000 of those, I believe. So I'm not as big a She-Hulk fan as others. So that's kind of why I'm not as high on that. Winter Soldier and Civil War. Yeah, both are great. Both are great. Both are great comics. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up. If you guys have any other questions, definitely throw them in there. Hour and 40 minutes. My voice is like already going, if you can tell. I guess I'm just not up to, all these people that like Dino streams every single day. I can't do that. I'm feeble. But this was my first chance at using StreamYard. So hopefully I can see why people use it. It's pretty easy to click on the various chats, so you can highlight them up here. Maybe I should try some other stuff just because I've never done it before. Like gotta be careful here what I do here, but I want to do this. What does this do here? Picture in picture layout. Okay, let's try this. I don't know. I don't think I'm doing this right. Press Shift 7. All right, we're going to try this. Shift 7. Yes, I did not do that right. Have to watch a video to learn how to do this better. Send me a link. I'll guest appear. Okay. I don't know how to do that, but you guys want to see Dino here? Let's figure out how to do this. Share. Oh God. I don't know how to do this. Invite. Hey, look, there's an invite. Okay. All right, let me try and invite Dino here. I don't know how to do this, but I'm doing my best. All right, I sent him the link. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Alex, if you want me to, I don't know if I can DM you. So DM me, Alex, and I'll invite you on. We can talk about anything you want. Hey. All right, here we go.
Hey, what's up?
Is it working?
Yeah. How are you, bro?
Good. Thanks for joining my first stream with multiple people. I barely know what I'm doing.
No, dude, you're all good. You did good, dude. What's up? How you doing? You've been going
I'm
2
good.
hours? You're crazy.
Yeah, 1 hour and 4. We were talking comics here. We were talking VeVe. I showed off my dog. We're just doing my best here. The wife's out with some of her friends, and the little girl's at a sleepover. So it's literally just me and the dog and comics sitting here. So I thought I'd jump on.
No, dude, it was fun. I liked it. Dude, I like your Marvel 1000, dude. That's so fire. I've been thinking about getting one, but it's good to know there's nothing valuable about it other than the cover, right? It's pretty much.
I think there's some minor FAs in here, and people, kind of speculated maybe they at the time could be big, but they never panned out. So yeah, I would say there's nothing of significance of that comic. And they printed like 1 trillion of them too. Not the D23 ones, but the cover A, cover B. There was like so many variations. It's an expensive comic too. I think it was a $10 comic. It's really thick.
So, why do you own it then? Did you buy it for the spec or did you buy it for the cover?
No, I bought it just because I like the cover. So I actually only bought this probably 9 months ago, because I wasn't as into Disney. VeVe's got me way more into Disney and understanding the significance of Disney. I mean, I didn't even know before, it's kind of stupid, but I didn't even know before VeVe that people really collected Disney stuff. Like, I guess I kind of knew, but I didn't understand the fandom around it at all. That's why, like, even like when the Golden Moments dropped, I was like, okay, this is cool, but I don't really care because and so then Partner Statue dropped and everybody went crazy, but I was like, whatever, 400 gems. I'm not buying that thing for 400 gems. I mean, I just I didn't get it, right? And then only then did and I've learned, just like other people have learned about comics, right? I really didn't understand the significance of, of Disney stuff, which is arguably bigger than comics. And so then obviously I went back and grabbed a Partner Statue, etc. But yeah, I definitely did not understand. So after that, and my understanding of Mickey Mouse, I was like, what's the very first comic where there's a Mickey Mouse in the Marvel? Because I remember when that one came out, and I remember people being excited about that comic, but I was like, I don't care. But then I was like, whoa, so this is the first time Mickey Mouse has been with all these Marvel characters? I'm going to grab this comic. Then that's why I bought it. So.
No, dude, it's fire. It's fire. No, I just wanted to come on and say hi on your stream.
I appreciate it.
That cover is fire, dude. Sorry, my kid's yelling at me. Yeah, that cover is freaking fire. I kind of wanted to get it just for the cover. So that's cool that you have one too.
Yeah. No, I do know there's a number of people because I have shown that on my channel a couple times, and they've contacted me and asked me about it. And then I think they actually went and then they bought them off of eBay. So you can get them off of eBay.
Yeah,
I
they're
think they're about
pricey. I think they're
$800.
more.
They're
I think they're
expensive.
more than
I mean,
that now. Yeah.
they're not like super expensive, but $800 is no joke for a comic you're basically buying because you just like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
because
I
you
do
like the
think
art. Yeah.
I do think there's some value now because once again, because of VeVe. I think VeVe is pushing the value on that thing. And every now I did see somebody selling one on Instagram about a month or two ago, and it sold. And I think they sold it for like $750, and it sold like that. So
You
there
have a
is some
special
demand
label
for it.
too. Yours has a special label. I saw.
Yeah, I have the I didn't put it on there, but this person decided to put the Avengers label on there, which is kind of weird. Why would you put the Avengers? But well, I guess there's a bunch of people on there, so
Yeah, it's
that's what
interesting. I mean, they don't have a Mickey Mouse one, probably, right? That would probably be I don't know.
no, they don't have. Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
So
It's still good though. It's special label is better than not, right?
yeah,
I mean, I like
and
them.
the key is the 9.8, obviously, because
Yeah.
so yeah, that's it. I don't know. Anything else you want to ask me?
No, dude, get out of here. You've been going 2 hours.
I don't even know how many people. Oh, I didn't even know how many people are watching. I have 52 viewers. All you 52 people, I thank you so much for stopping through.
Yeah, no, dude, I don't want to keep you long.
Best player of all time is Kirby Puckett. I have all his rookies. Yes, my wife is a really big Kirby Puckett fan. Alex, man, you gotta send me a DM and I'll send you a link. You can jump on. I thought you were doing your Twitter space though, Alex. Or maybe not. Oh, that's yesterday. That's last night. Sorry, I got confused.
It's probably fake Alex.
Whatever. Fake Alex, real Alex, we don't care, right?
Hey, if it's fake, if it's real Alex, that'd be fun too.
Yeah. It's Batman Day here in Germany. Yeah. The Jim Lee variant. I should put these up so people can see what I'm reading. Yep. Yeah. Dope statues. You want to see some of these statues?
Here. Dude, those are fire, dude. Your wall looks so good. I'm like, it's like peak YouTuber wall.
Well, here's a statue for you guys.
Dude, that's fire.
This thing is so heavy. It's really crazy.
What's your mint?
4341.
Okay.
So if anybody has 4341, contact me. I'll trade you. I already own a Todd, but it's not a. Did you see? I know you hate Kylo Ren. You see my Kylo Ren?
No, it probably looks good though.
I think it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks dope.
I like it. He looks very young, like he's still making a decision about whether or not he wants to become Kylo Ren. He's staring at the helmet.
Yeah, his cape looks great on that.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's super cool. It's like the what's the one? It's a Batman where his cape is like this.
Oh, Clunan.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, that looks really good. I didn't even know you had that. That piece is cool.
Oh, I just got it. And there's a matching one with Rey. Once again, I know you're not big Rey and Kylo fans.
Are you a Kylo fan? You're a big Kylo fan?
I am a Kylo fan. I like Kylo.
Really?
Well, I just think he's such an interesting, Ben Solo. I think obviously they kind of messed him up, but
yeah. He gets better. He gets better later.
So that's also another problem. When you're dead, that's a problem.
It's when you're a villain, right? You don't collect villains because they always die, right?
No, I just think he's he's a more interesting character than we've seen. So yeah, I think there's something there. So here, I'll show you a couple other ones I got here. So there's all these like little guys. I think Iron Studios makes these guys.
Oh, nice. Dude, that looks great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So they're I just bought a bunch of them. They're all from Endgame.
Oh, nice. I just watched Endgame the other day again.
Oh, such a great movie. Who doesn't like this?
I think I liked Infinity War more. After watching them both, I think I like Infinity War more. But the ending scene, like the fight scene in Endgame, is so like, oh my gosh,
it's so out of control.
So much like good stuff in one scene is like ridiculous. That's awesome.
Yeah, this one is really spectacular as well.
Dude, you're making me want that Mickey Mouse comic, but I don't want to spend $1,000 on it.
Yeah. So these are all Iron Studios. If you guys
Iron
go
Studios.
to Iron
Okay.
Studios, they're not expensive. They're like $25 or something like that.
Oh, really? That's not bad. I should go look.
Yeah, I want to buy more of them, but then I buy VeVe stuff. Then I buy these things. I mean, it's never ending. I gotta
That's sick. All right. When transfers come back, I'll send you Marvel Now .1s for your 9.8 Mickey Mouse.
All right.
I
Sounds good. Yeah,
know you
this
need a
one's
few
really
more.
cool. I like this one too.
No, that's dope. The Thor. Oh, it's that Stormbreaker too. It doesn't even. He doesn't
Yeah.
have the hammer.
Yeah, because they're supposed to go together, right? So this guy, this one, it's from Endgame. So he has Mjolnir, and this guy has.
They kind of look like Marvel Mighties.
They kind of do. They kind of do. I thought
Especially the Steve Rogers. Like he looks exactly like the Marvel Mighty.
Do I have any other ones?
I know you're a Mighty guy too. They look just like it. Dang.
No, I don't have any other ones. Yeah. Yeah, they have a bunch of them and they're all really awesome. I could buy them all, but then I wouldn't have enough money for food for my family, and then I'd get in trouble.
Speaking of food for my family, I'm gonna go back up and play with my kid before bedtime.
All right, thanks for stopping by, and thank you for teaching me. I wanted to try this so that I look like a professional. I can put 2 people on now. Look at this.
No, dude, you'll be fun. You'll be able to do interviews now and hang out. It'll be a blast.
Yeah, thanks.
Dude, keep crushing. Later, bro.
All right, let me see if I have any other things, and I'm going to get off of the here, guys. Looking at the Agent Venom statue. So this Venom statue here is based off of a comic by Clayton Crane where Venom has the Infinity Gauntlet, which he never has the Infinity Gauntlet, to my knowledge, in any of the comics. It's just kind of a fun statue. Do you think we'll get a Kylo Ren? I think we will. We have his lightsaber. That's the thing. That's the clue that we're going to get a Kylo collectible. Ryan's here. Hey, Ryan. Thanks for stopping through. Wakanda Forever will break every Marvel. I hope so. I hope it's good. They've had a couple weak movies. Like I said, I was not a fan of the latest Thor movie. I really disliked it. And I wasn't the biggest fan even of Doctor Strange, the Multitude of Madness or Multiverse of Madness. It was okay. I definitely had some issues with it. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I should probably take off pretty soon. Okay, so let's see what anything else that people had. Any questions? Yeah, so this is we kind of talked about this earlier, and I'll probably end with this. I just think right now, and it's just it's tough, but we just don't have any new users right now. I mean, we're probably getting some and then we're losing some. So it's kind of like we're basically staying the same. And as long as we're kind of in this scenario, I don't see the prices really going up much. They might kind of fluctuate. Maybe MCP comes and it goes up a little bit and then goes down. But the key in my mind is we really need more users. And you can monitor that, as I said, using those tools that I talked about before, which is VeVe FAQs, Puddin' Cheeks, Bravos Assassins. You can monitor all of that stuff there. And so if those start going up, if you look at their charts and they start going up, then we know we might be getting out of this kind of where we're stuck in this kind of hole right now. But yeah, I don't necessarily think the prices are going to go up much. I think they're going to kind of stay stagnant. And as you've seen, some of them have been dropping still. So that might still be happening. Did you DM you? Okay, so I'll end on this one. So I can't remember which channel I was on, but someone said, would you want to get on with David Yu? And of course, who wouldn't want to be on a stream with David Yu? So what I want to do is invite David Yu to my channel. And now that I know how to do it, look, I'm an expert, right? We would pick 5 comics each and then kind of have a comic off comparing comics. And of course he would crush me because his comic collection is 10 times better than mine, but it might be just for fun, something fun. Not always asking. I mean, I would ask him a couple questions, but not always asking him repeatedly, you know, when is this? When is this? When is this? Which he can't answer any of those questions anyways. So my deal would be we just talk comics. So that would be my my take on it. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. Thanks for stopping through. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions about comics, obviously you can DM me on IG or on Twitter, but take care, everybody.